It's like, if you're like a really, 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 really rich person with power, you want to make sure the poorest people have enough to survive. The second they don't feel like they have hope and they don't feel like they have enough to survive, they start storming your estate.
Well, especially when you talk about healthcare, because there's people whose job is to deny people healthcare that deserve it.
That's how,
Because that's how they save money, that's crazy to think of. But what is the alternative? Socialized medicine? The problem with that is it doesn't incentivize doctors to be the best.
It
I want
also
my
doesn't-
doctor to drive a fucking Porsche.
Yeah.
I want my doctor to have a 911 turbo and a nice watch.
It's no, you're right, because you want the smartest people to be the doctors. You don't want them
Yes.
running hedge funds.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of probably
Right.
really smart people running hedge funds. I don't want them doing that shit.
Right.
Like, I want them fixing diseases.
Right.
You know, I
Right,
want,
right.
and if there's not enough money in it, they're going to go to the hedge fund shit, which is meaningless.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is a tricky problem. How do you create a system that incentivizes the most brilliant people to be in positions where they help us all? But how do you make sure that the nefarious actors are not finding ways to squeeze probably the most vulnerable?
How do we eliminate nefarious actors from the world, or do we ever?
You can't.
You can't.
They're there, and they will pop into these positions.
And I think they're there also to help you appreciate non-nefarious people.
Yeah, like we wouldn't know good
Right.
unless there is bad.
Yeah, that's real.
That's a good perspective to have on bad.
That's the good and evil struggle forever. That's the yin and the yang. That's it all. It's like that's how the world moves forward. That's how it advances. It protects itself against evil. And then evil tries to find ways through the fucking cracks. And they develop better antivirus software.
It's a simulation.
A little bit, man.
It's a
It might be.
simulation.
It's gonna be. So maybe it already is. And maybe it always was. Maybe it always was.
And if it's a simulation once, it can be a simulation twice.
Yeah.
So if we can create the simulation and we were created as a simulation, that means that we could be like the 20th version of it.
And we're probably about to create a way better one with AI. That's
Yeah.
probably what AI is. AI is probably the god of the simulation. We
Yeah.
probably lock that motherfucker in, turn it on, then it figures out how to do everything.